Here's your WNEM TV5 news update.
Good evening, everyone. I'm David Custer. New cases of COVID-19 easing slightly after a spike over the weekend, adding more than 10,000 new cases since Saturday, with an additional 98 deaths. That brings the state's overall totals to more than 360,000 cases, with more than 9,100 deaths. Genesee and Saginaw counties continue to see the highest surge of COVID-19 in mid-Michigan, combining for nearly 20,000 cases and more than 600 deaths alone. 35 new outbreaks in schools are being reported statewide, with about half a dozen here in mid-Michigan. That includes Standish Sterling Elementary in Aranac County, Marlette High School in Sanilac County, and Carroll High School in Tuscola County. The Michigan House and Senate resume sessions tomorrow, and last week, Governor Gretchen Whitmer sent a letter to state Republicans asking for a $100 million COVID relief bill, increased and permanent unemployment benefits, and a mask law.
She's asking for a lot of things she could have asked for 8 or 9 months ago. She's made it a point of not working with the legislature, so it's something that we have to absorb in total.
State Senator Ken Horn added the legislature is figuring out how to pay for a relief bill and already plans on extending the unemployment benefits until March. There are only 9 sessions, 3 weeks left before the winter recess. The Michigan Restaurant and Lodging Association is attempting to overturn the State Department of Health and Human Services ban on indoor dining. In a federal court hearing today, the MRLA claimed the ban infringes on the rights of restaurant owners, and many restaurants won't survive it. The health department countered, saying now is the time to prohibit what they called risky behavior like indoor dining. The judge has not yet reached a decision. And now here's Brian with a look at all that snow.
That's right, David. For plenty of us, it's going to be a significant snowfall, while others of us, by the time this all wraps up on Tuesday, could be shrugging and asking themselves, it snowed? Here's what I mean. First things first, winter weather advisory remains in effect for our 4 thumb counties until 4 p.m. tomorrow. This is going to be a slow burn as the snow has already started, especially in the far eastern thumb and then arcing back into Lapeer County. It's going to persist throughout the night, actually backing a bit farther inland and then continuing throughout the day on Tuesday. And if that weren't enough, folks along the lakeshore areas of the thumb and southern shore of Saginaw Bay face the threat of lakeshore flooding. Lakeshore flood advisory in effect for Bay and Tuscola counties, and a lakeshore flood warning for Huron and Sanilac counties. Either way, expect a significant amount of lakeshore flooding, even backing in along parts of the Cucaulin and Saginaw rivers, high beach erosion, as well as just some high wave action due to persistent north-northwest winds throughout this event. Now here's the storm itself, sprawling and powerful area of low pressure, getting a lot of support in the upper levels of the atmosphere, feeding off of a lot of jet energy, working its way in across Pennsylvania, settling itself closer to Lake Ontario later tonight, and then actually forecast to pivot in closer to the northeast end of Lake Huron tomorrow. That's going to keep this big swath of what's a blend of rain and snow, but turning in towards snow for us here in the eastern thumb, and it's going to actually serve to pivot that back inland over the course of tonight and into tomorrow, really with I-75 set to serve as the dividing line. If you're along or east of the highway, you can expect a fair amount of snow over the next 24 hours, while folks farther inland, you might be left to little more than a few flurries and maybe a dusting at best. So on the hour-by-hour forecast, here's everything timed out. Taking the snow across the thumb around 8 o'clock, pulling that in closer to I-75, Tri-Cities and Flint area by the time we hit midnight. That pivot in toward the west will continue into the morning commute tomorrow, now reaching you folks on the north shore of the Bay, as well as right along the I-75 corridor between Bay City and the Flint area. So expect a very messy, icy and or snowy, slushy road conditions as you head into the morning commute tomorrow, especially in those areas east of I-75 as well. That'll continue as the general trend through about midday or so into 3 o'clock. We may see some periods where some of the snow breaks up for the time being, only to kind of get some resurgence off of Saginaw Bay into about 6 o'clock tomorrow night. Then, aside from a few lingering lake effect snow showers until about 11 p.m., things will wind down on Tuesday night and then make way for much nicer conditions on Wednesday. So when all is said and done, heaviest totals overwhelmingly going to be in the thumb. Most folks in the thumb can expect 2 to 5 inches of snow, locally 5 inches or more right along the lakeshore areas of Huron and Sanilac counties where we get some lake enhancement. 2 to 4 inches for you folks around Harrisville, Oscoda, as well as really all of eastern parts of Iosco and Alcona counties. Folks around Bay City and Saginaw, south to Flint and Owasso, 1 to 2 inches depending on how long we get that band to set up a bit farther inland. And folks to the west of there, less than an inch for sure. if you even pick up anything at all. So for tonight, snow along and east of I-75, breezy at times with a low around 33 degrees, heading up to a high of 34 for tomorrow, so we're only moving a degree. Snow continuing along and east of I-75 with more in the way of breezy conditions. Then in the First Warn 5 7-day forecast, after the messy weather tomorrow, a quiet midweek. Wednesday, mostly sunny and up to 44. Increasing clouds, but still some sun on Thursday, 41. And then some lesser chances for rain and snow showers Friday and again on Sunday. But again, after this speed bump, a largely quiet first week of December.
Remember to tune into WNEM TV5 on air and online 24/7 for the latest news, weather, and information.